All right, guys. So I'm about to answer the age-old question of should I do long-form content or should I do short-form content? This is going to be such an important video because many of you find yourself making the drastic mistake of choosing the wrong format of creating content and inevitably falling into the trap of not making any money, spending a bunch of time, spending a bunch of money, and just having this whole thing be a complete flop because you never were able to see success because you just put yourself in the wrong vehicle and approached it the wrong way because you had no context as to how this business model actually works and what's the right method of creating videos that's going to lead to the results that you're looking for, right? So I'm going to express my very unpopular opinion, all right? So this might be a little bit controversial. Some people might hate me for this. Some people have their own opinions. If you do have your own opinions, by the way, please feel free to open a conversation and discussion in the comments. If you have opposing opinions, if you have something against what I have to say, I'd love to hear about it. Let's have a conversation. But what I'm doing is I'm just trying to increase the level of awareness to the average person who's looking to get into YouTube and wants to know, should I create long form content or should I create short form content? So I'm going to unravel the curtain and be dramatically honest about how this business model actually works, both for long form and short form, and give you guys the honest truth. I think everyone deserves that. I think everyone deserves to know what actually happens behind closed doors and what this business model looks like on both sides. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to go straight into it. All right. Long form versus short form content. I'm just going to give you a tiny little bit of context in case you're wondering what the difference is. So long form content is usually content that is above the 1 minute mark, but typically between 10 to 30 minutes. That's the typical average for long form content. All right. Now, short form content is usually content that is under 60 seconds and it falls into a completely different algorithm known as the short shelf. All right. So now that we got the house rules out of the way, let's go into the pros and cons of each style of content. All right. So when we look at the pros of long form content, we can say that this content is what really makes this entire business model so lucrative. It's passive, it's systemized, and it's very, very scalable. You're basically creating a catalog of videos that can be watched for years and years to come, and you get paid the entire time. We have videos that I've posted literally years ago, 3-4 years ago, that I'm still getting paid for today. Documentaries and compilations. These are videos that stay in the algorithm because YouTube predominantly is a search engine. It's what it is, just like Google. It's a search engine. People search for things and they find them. So people are going to be continuously searching for things and finding them for years and years to come if you, of course, create that kind of content that's designed to be searched for. And then you can essentially continue to get paid year after year, month after month, in perpetuity. As long as YouTube exists, you have money coming in. And that's a huge advantage of long form content. Also, if you want to get paid, you need to be monetized, both for short form and long form content, which means you need to be accepted into the partner program. The requirements, the threshold to get accepted into the partner program are 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, most of my students, they get monetized within 1 to 2 months, but point being is that you can basically get monetized quite easy. And I say that because I'm going to show you on the other side with the shorts how difficult it is to get monetized. So this is just the pros of long form. It also pays significantly more than shorts. I'm going to show you guys how much shorts pays, but just so you know, for reference, YouTube will pay you for long form content $5 to $20 per 1,000 views, which is a lot of money. So just for perspective, if you take 1 million views and divide it by 1,000, you get 1,000, right? And if you multiply that by $5, you get $5,000, right? And if you multiply that by $20, you get $20,000, right? So that's a pretty sweet equation to focus on. You know what I mean? If you are able to just know, okay, I need to replace my income. I need $5,000 a month. Beautiful. All you really need to do is just gather 1 million views. Now that may sound like a hard task, 1 million views. How the heck do I get 1 million views? It's not that difficult when you understand how the algorithm works, how to create content that actually converts. So pretty cool equation and formula to look at, because when you look at this thing analytically, not just like, oh my God, this is difficult and tough and how am I going to do this? Look at the data, right? Read the data. So 1 million views is all the average person needs to replace their income. If you also find yourself in a really good paying niche, like the one that's $20 per 1,000 views, then that same million views is going to go a very long way. And now you're making a doctor's income, right, with YouTube. So let's talk about the cons of long form content. 'Cause I'm not going to say it's the most holy grail strategy. There are its cons, right? It's not the perfect thing. So one of them is that the costs are higher than short form. Of course, it's going to cost longer to create a 10, 20-minute video than a 30 to 60-second video, right? It does also take longer to grow and scale. This is because, again, the shorts shelf, the shorts algorithm is designed to give you these quick dopamine hits, right? So there's so many shorts that are being pushed out. And of course, since shorts is newer to YouTube, they are promoting shorts like crazy, right? They want to push out new creators. They want to push out existing creators. And so it can be a lot easier to be found in shorts and have your chances of these videos blowing up. And because of that, it can actually be technically quicker to grow, but that's not actually the reality. It's like technically it's faster, but in the reality, it's farthest from, right? And it is slightly more technical than shorts. Now, although fundamentally everything is the same, you know, for us, for long form, we have click-through rate, and on short form, we have swipe rate, right? So how often somebody sees it and swipes. And then also average view duration is the same. How long somebody sits on the video and watches it, those are the same. So the algorithms are more or less the same, but realistically, there's a few more nuances, a few more technical bits of data that are in the long form than there are in the short form that you do have to learn. So yes, it's maybe a more simplified version of YouTube Shorts, but again, it doesn't mean it's more simple. It doesn't translate to more simple. So what are the pros of short form? Because I got to give it to it. There are some pros. All right. It is actually very elite in some ways, and we'll talk about them, right? Number one, they're very cheap to produce. They're super, super cheap to produce. Whether you do them yourself or hire someone, it's going to be a fraction of the cost, all right? It also does not require much skill or experience to create a short. You could be nobody with no experience and create a short, right? There's also a lot of niches that work, a lot of different niches, especially with AI, a lot of different AI niches that are working quite well. They also have a much stronger likelihood to get traction faster than long form. And that's because, like I said, YouTube is predominantly pushing out these niches or these shorts because they're trying to promote shorts on YouTube, right? There's also a lot of trends that are happening that you can jump into consistently, right? There's always things that are coming up, the Meow, AI videos, and all these other things. There's always something happening, which just allows for new opportunities to jump onto these trends. And usually they go up and down and up and down. So yes, you have to deal with the ups and downs, but at least there's quite a few different ups that you can capitalize off them if you time it correctly. So again, timing plays a big part. But now let's talk about the cons of short form content. Right? This is a very long list. Let's go through it. All right. Number one, it is extremely competitive and saturated. Everybody is doing shorts because it is easy. It is so easy to create a short. Like I said, it either costs nothing or takes, you can do it yourself with no experience, which means the barrier of entry is quite high given the fact that there's so many people doing the same thing, right? Also, cheaply created videos will likely never surface and go viral, which means you cannot just post crappy content. You still need to take the time to do the research to figure out why your competitors are doing good and going viral and how you can reverse engineer those videos and create videos for yourself that are quality, that are gonna go viral, and analyze the hooks, analyze the outros, analyze the pattern interrupts, analyze the rehooks, analyze all those pieces. It's not like you can just hire someone and say, hey, go make a video about this and expect them to create a good video. You still have to understand the technical side of it and create the video accordingly, right? You also need to post at least 3 times a day. So from even my experience of doing shorts and the people that I work with who do really well with shorts, you need to post at least 3 times a day. Some niches allow for 1 to 2, but a very good sweet spot to make this thing work is 3 a day. By the way, quick tangent. When I'm saying all this and saying that shorts sucks and it's hard and this and that, I don't actually mean that shorts is not a good method of making money. It is a fantastic method of making money. I know 16, 17-year-olds that are doing tens of thousands of dollars a month with shorts. So by no means am I bashing shorts and saying it's the worst thing and this and that. I'm just trying to say that for a beginner, it is not the right move. I literally posted a video a few videos ago about why trending videos are the worst thing anyone can do as a beginner. If you have no context, if you have no perspective experience about creating YouTube videos and going viral, don't do trending. If you're not skilled and experienced, don't do trending. And so I say the same exact thing for shorts. If you're not skilled and experienced, don't waste your time with shorts. It could work out, but I'll talk about why it's probably not going to work out. So let's go back into this. I just wanted to have a bit of a tangent, just explain, because I even said, like, if you guys are against my opinions, fantastic. I love everybody having their own opinions. You can share them in the comments. I'd love to chat with you about it. This is just my opinion. And it's because I've worked with hundreds of students. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I've worked with hundreds and hundreds, over 1,000 students at this point, who have done this thing with me. And so I have enough historical data and technical analysis to give you this opinion. It's not just because I feel like saying this or I want to be controversial, right? So now the next thing is that it's quite difficult to find a competent team to create the videos for you. So if you do hire, you do need to find someone who not only knows how to create the videos, but also has an understanding of clickbait and hooks and virality and all these different metrics that are very important, right? The other thing is that some people decide to create the videos themselves, which, by the way, this can work, but this becomes extremely time consuming and requires quite an extensive amount of skill. And there are exceptions to this, of course, where you find yourself in some niche where it just so happens to be so lucrative and so new and so much attention where like you can kind of half-ass the videos and still get a lot of traction. So there are exceptions, absolutely fair. But for the most part, this process of creating a video yourself, a quality video, and by the way, I said you have to post at least 2 to 3, ideally 3 a day, is a full-time job. It's very, very difficult. And so if you don't want to do it yourself, you have to hire someone. Hiring someone is also very, very difficult. So there's that factor as well. You need 10 million views in 3 months and 1,000 subscribers to be monetized. So if you want to make $1 off of YouTube, YouTube's not going to pay you just for posting shorts. You need to become monetized. And like I said over here, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours for long form. But for short form, you need 10 million views and 1,000 subscribers in 3 months. If you don't get those 10 million views in 3 months, you're not getting monetized. You need to start over the whole ticker for the 10 million views, which is so difficult for a brand new, like a beginner, to ask someone for 10 million views in 3 months and also 1,000 subscribers. Is insane. Now, of course, it works and it can happen and many people make it work, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy. And so there's so much resistance here. All right. The other thing is how much it pays. It pays awful. It pays 10 to 13 cents per 1,000 views versus $5 to $20 per 1,000 views. It is night and day how much you get compensated for this, right? So quick calculation, 1 million views will make you a astonishing $100 versus 1 million views here makes you $5,000 up to $20,000. So for the same million views, for the same effort, you're getting a obnoxiously higher amount of return on your investment, right? Let's say you want to make 10K. How many views do you need? You need 100 million views on a monthly basis. Who in their right mind is ambitious enough to think that you're going to start YouTube and you're going to go ahead and make hundreds of millions of views every single month? It's possible. I'm not saying that you can't do it or it's not going to happen, but it's just so unrealistic and so untangible that it just doesn't make sense. You have to look at the metrics, at the numbers, do the research first and look at the data versus saying, wow, this guy says, if I start this shorts channel, I can use AI to create the videos and it costs 2 cents to create this and two minutes to create that. And then all of a sudden I'm making 5, 10K a month. Dive deeper, right? Don't just look into like how sexy everything sounds online. Dive into the data. And that's, maybe it's just my job. It's my responsibility is to take the knowledge that I have, the experience that I have, and create these videos for people to really understand, again, unravel the curtain and look behind the fluff and look behind all the advertising and the sexy verbiage for everything and the pipe dream that everyone's placing. It's like, you know what? Just understand how this thing really operates. And when you can understand it and know what you're up against, you will actually have a much better you'll have a much better ability to perform because you know what you're up against versus being completely blindsided, starting this thing, spending 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, so on and so forth, and never actually getting results, right? The other thing is that all your shorts inevitably die, and they die quite quickly, right? Unlike with YouTube, where I showed you that your videos can continue to generate views for months and years, shorts don't do that. They don't operate the same as long form content, all right? They will die. As soon as you post them, they have a lifespan, and then they're done. It could be a week, it could be 3 weeks. That's the average, all right? Then it's dead. It's dead in the water, and you will never see the light of day with that video again. So you're basically posting, hoping that something catches fire, and if it doesn't, which likely it won't, it goes back down, or rather it flatlines, and that's it. All right. And we're going to dive a little bit more into the technical side of that. But that's the thing is you're basically creating something once and hoping that it does well versus with YouTube long form, you're creating something with the intention for it to take time to grow and for it to continue to grow over time so that you have this continuous income that grows and grows and grows. And as you have more videos, it compounds over each other and builds, right? And yeah, they die and there's nothing you can do about it, which means your channel will come to a complete death if you decide to stop posting. Imagine that. You invested all that time, all that energy, all that money into a channel, you stop posting and it's all gone. If you even made anything to begin with. Right? So just taking these things in consideration before making a decision is so, so important. Also, majority of shorts channels die out no matter what you do. All right. This is probably the biggest key. I've talked to so many people who do shorts and every single one tells me the same thing. They work until they don't. I don't know why. We haven't really figured out what the problem is, but these things make money. Sure. I can quite easily get a channel to make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. But it has an imminent death for no reason. I have channels that I've reached up to 7K a month. That's the most I've personally done. And then out of nowhere, out of the blue, it decides to just die. The channel literally just dies. It goes from making 5 million views every 48 hours, 10 million views, like crazy views, to literally flatlining, getting no views. I've changed nothing. I've not posted less. I've tried then testing with posting more, changing the style, changing the hooks, whatever I did. It doesn't, like, nothing I could do to fix it would fix it. All right, it just dies. And I was like, okay, whatever. Let's try it again. All right. So then we got another channel to like 3-4K. It was good until it just died. And another one. And so on and so forth. And every single time I'd build these shorts channels, they would make money and then it would just die. And I'm like, do I suck at shorts? Like, is it me? And it was a whole situation where it's like, it's not me, it's you. And that's what it is. It's like, it's nothing to do with you and your abilities. There are some niches that do last longer, but those are the super high quality, edited, animated shorts that you're spending at least like $50 to $60 for a short, which is very unorthodox in the space of shorts. Those sometimes, if you find the right niche, you have the right kind of quality of editing, they can last for a very, very long time. But not many people are experienced enough to spend $60 on on a short, and be successful with it. So it's still very advanced. Now, all the channels that I've ever done have died. Everyone I've talked to who has done shorts, they blow up and they die. They blow up and they die. A lot of guys who are shorts gurus, same thing. I have access to their channels. I've seen their back end. I have access to the one guy who was doing shorts and he had like 100 channels, basically 80 or something channels. I look at all of them. They're all dead. They all made a bunch of money and died. Bunch of money and died. And the only reason they made a bunch of money is because he's very, very experienced. And I'm not just saying go off and make a bunch of channels, you'll make a bunch of money and they'll die off and you just, continue the cycle. It's still have to have the skill set to make them blow up in the first place, which many people don't even get to that first point. But they all die. And so I'm seeing this like cycle and this pattern of channels blowing up and then die. What's the point? And first of all, nobody tells you this. This is like, I don't think if anyone watches this video is going to have this information. Many people don't have this information. And many people are going to comment on this video. And I really hope you do. Please, by all means, if you've done shorts and had success and seen this happen, please comment so it can reaffirm what I'm saying. And by the way, this isn't a one size fits all. It's not like every single person who does shorts is going to have their channel die. But everyone that I have and many people that I work with and know have had that experience. So please, by the way, at this point in the video, I want to make sure to see who's here, who's alive, who's engaging. If you've had a shorts channel that has died, please in the comments, let me know. Tell me the story. If you have had a shorts channel that's been successful and hasn't died, please let me know how long you've been doing it for and give me some details. And I want to see how many people have had this experience and who hasn't. And I feel like it's going to be more people who have had them fail or not even see success to begin with than those who have been successful. Now that that's out of the way, there's something else I want to talk about called shorts view jail. This is something that nobody talks about. So when they say go off and do shorts, create the channel, post a video a day, AI this, AI that, you'll make money in no time. This is the reality of shorts. All right, look at this. Type in shorts views jail. How to escape 10 to 30K. How to get out of view jail. How to get out of the 15K view jail. Zero view jail. 15K view jail. 10K jail. All right. There's a range between 0 to 10 to 15K that all shorts get stuck in. Every single one. Like, You have to be so experienced to get out of the 15K jail. Like you think you're doing good because, oh, this video reached 15K and this one did 15K and I'm pushing through and they're getting better and better. No, they're not. They're going to be stuck at the 15K jail. So the level of experience that you need to break through 10 to 15K is so extensive. It's actually so difficult to push past the 10 to 15K view jail, which again, nobody will tell you. Nobody will tell you that you're going to post these videos and they're not going to go past 10K views. And you may think 10K views is not bad. How many videos would you need to do if you know it goes from 0 to 10K and dies, 0 to 10K and dies, and you have to get 1 million views just to make back $100? It's not worth it. And then you get this like false glimmer of hope because one breaks through and hits 17 or 18K views. And you're like, wow, I've broken out of the jail. I have to keep going. And then the next one hits 5K or 10K, 5K, 10K, 10K. It's not worth it, guys. I'm giving you like a play-by-play of exactly how it's going to look like if you decide to do shorts. All right. I'm just trying to be the guy who's unbiased. And maybe I'm biased because I've had experiences, but I'm also saying this based on data. All right. I back all my opinions on data. Let's look at the calculations though, because we can compare. It is definitely a bit of a comparison from long form content, but I want you to know exactly what it would look like if you wanted to participate in shorts and try it out, how much it would cost you. So one video should cost you fully outsourced $5 to $7. You can go on Upwork, you can go on Fiverr, you'll find people to create these videos between $5 to $7. So if you post one video a day for 30 days, you're going to spend between $150 to $210 a month. But you likely need around 3 videos a day. So you're going to have to spend between $15 to $21 a day, which breaks out to times 30 days, $450 to $630 a month. I personally make my students spend between $450 to $500 a month on long form content. So imagine that. We're spending the same amount on long form content than other people should be spending on short form content to perceivably achieve the same goal, but really it's not the same thing at all because my students go off and make a bunch of money and shorts channels rarely ever see the light of day. And so you're actually spending the same amount of money. Although these are much cheaper, you need to post significantly more of them versus we only need to post 8 videos a month. That's all my students ever do. And we get 3 to 5 to 10x the results. If say 100 times the results if people don't even make money, right? So that's the thing to put in perspective. It's like, yes, they may seem cheaper and easier, but there's trade-offs to this whole thing. So what are my personal opinions? All right. Number one, think long-term. All right. Don't just do something because somebody told you it's quick or it's easier. Just think long term because first of all, these channels never last. So if you already know that it's not going to last as an investment and a decision, then don't put your money into it. Don't park your money into it. All right. Avoid friction and resistance. If I'm telling you there's all these things you're going to experience, which are going to destroy your motivation, destroy your ambition, your grit, your willpower, your momentum, then don't go into that because you want to go into the thing with the least amount of friction and resistance, right? Also, stop chasing get rich quick. Guys, there's no such thing. And yes, some people get lucky. I do know people that in their first month, second month, 6th month do crazy, crazy numbers. But don't chase that high because it's not going to hit and you're going to be very disappointed when it doesn't. If it does, it's a win-win, but have the most realistic expectations, all right? Guessing is gambling. When you're posting these videos, you're shooting in the dark because you don't have the kind of context. Like I said, YouTube long form is much more technical than short form, but that also poses an opportunity to understand it a lot more intricately than shorts because it's more simple. So you're like, why didn't it work? Well, I don't really know. I don't have enough data to understand it because it's just a 30-second video versus a 8 to 10 minute video, 20-minute video. You have so much data behind it that you can make more data-driven decisions. It's actually much, much better in that sense. And your time is more valuable. Guys, even if you spend less money creating these shorts, let's say you spend 1/3 of the amount of money creating shorts versus long form, it doesn't even matter because that's not even what's of value. Yes, money is valuable. Finances are very important. But what's more important is your time. You'll never get that time back. You can go work another job, pick up another shift, sell your car, whatever. You can make that money back. The money is not the problem. It's the time. If you're going to dedicate the time to do something, why not do the thing that's going to be the highest leverage activity that has the most amount of return on investment of time and finances? Focus on that, right? So I've basically created this to just be as transparent as humanly possible, because again, I don't think anybody's willing to just sit here on camera and rant about what people should do and shouldn't do. And yeah, this might hurt some people's feelings. It might hurt some gurus' feelings. I'm sorry, but people need to know, what they're up against. And so, yeah, that's kind of that. Now, with that said, I digress on the entire breakdown. If you're interested at all in doing YouTube, do it the right way, do it long form, avoid trending, avoid shorts, take the route that maybe is a little bit less quick and more slow and more paced, but is going to lead to, number one, you actually making $1, making money, and number two, it lasting a very long time. So that's the way I teach my students. I will never let a student go into a niche that has a lot of resistance, that's trendy, that's a fad, that potentially will pose any risk on their channel that could, 2, 3, 5, 10 months down the road gets their channel taken down. Nothing. I don't play in the gray area. I don't let my students make any wrongful decisions which could harm or impact their income. That's the way to do it. And many people are just like, you know what? Well, this is going to make a lot of money, so jump into it. And then you realize like your channel gets demonetized, you lose your AdSense account, you get banned from YouTube. Like there's a lot of really dark things that can happen if you make improper decisions and listen to the wrong people who don't have your best interest at heart. So I encourage everybody to just give this thing a jab. Just give it a go. If you want to make a change in your life, you want to shift the dynamic of your life, and whether it's supplement your income or replace your income, you need to do something. And this is a fantastic business model. YouTube is an incredible vehicle and a mechanism that's there, ripe for the taking. There are people that are 16 years old making money. I have students that are 72 years old that are making money with YouTube automation. So if you're on the edge of doing this whole thing and want to do it with someone in your corner and have that confidence and reassurance the entire way, I'll leave my link in the description. If you want more free value, more free information, you want to join me live on a call. I have 2 live calls every single week in a free school community. You can join the free school community as well. 2 calls a week, free community. You can ask any question. I can audit your channel, do anything that you want. It's all there. So just, join the free community. If you're not ready to book a call with me yet, go there. Look at how much value I drop free. And if you feel that I'm the right person to have in your corner to work with you, I'd love to be there. And if not, just please, keep consuming the free content. Stay on board, because I'm making my mission to just deliver the most transparent, raw, and honest information as I possibly can, so that you guys can just avoid being derailed by other people. I'll see you guys on the next video.